In this video, we're going to talk about rotating 90 degrees, 45 degrees, and 180 degrees. So we're going to start by rotating some points, and then we'll rotate some figures. So let's begin. We have our patty paper and our pencil, which are the tools we are using. So first we're being asked to rotate this point B 90 degrees around this center point O. So the main thing to remember is that a 90-degree rotation is positive and it goes to the left or in the counterclockwise direction. So let's begin rotating. We take our patty paper, we place it over our point that we're rotating and our center point, and we have to trace those on our patty paper. So here I got point B and center point. So something to keep in mind is that 90 degrees is what you would see on the corner of a square. 90 degrees is also what can be described as the intersection of the X and Y axis. So over here, when you see the X axis and the Y axis, where they intersect, where they hit each other, here you see a 90-degree angle. In fact, we see 4 90-degree angles that are caused by the intersection of the X and Y axis. So over here is 90 degrees. This right here is 90 degrees. So is this here, and so is that there. So because we're rotating 90 degrees, we're going to be paying close attention to the X and Y axis. And in fact, we're going to be using the X and Y axis to help us create these rotations. So now, how do you use the X and Y axis? Well, in addition to marking off the point B and the point of rotation, we're also going to mark off the location of the X axis and the Y axis on our patty paper. And when we do that, we actually create a 90-degree angle. So this right here, when I go up and then when I go to the right, I've created a 90-degree angle on my patty paper. So now we rotate. We're going to take our pencil, the tip, and we're going to place it on the point of rotation and push down. Oops. So if you push down too hard, your lead will break, so be careful. So now it's good. I don't have my lead. It won't break. I'll just use the tip of the pencil. There we go. So I'm pushing down with my pencil on that point of rotation. And I'm going to begin rotating or turning the patty paper to the left, right? Because that's a positive rotation. So I'm going to turn to the left. And now when I do that, you can see the marks I made on my patty paper for the X and Y axis. So we keep rotating until down here, this little mark, the X axis, lines up here with the Y axis. Okay. And we keep rotating until this lines up here and this lines up down there. And then so I've lined them up. And up here, we see the location of B prime. So we take our pencil, we use some force, press down, and that should leave an indentation on the paper. Okay, so you may not see it on the video, but I see it on my paper. It's right here. And so that's the location of B prime. Okay, so here we have a 90-degree rotation of B. Let's move on. Next, we are going to look at a 45-degree rotation. So 45 degrees is half of 90 degrees. So really, we're going to now go halfway of what we did here. So let's see how we're going to do that. We get our patty paper, and the first few steps are the same. We are going to mark the location on the patty paper of point B, mark the location of the point of rotation. And now you got to remember that a 45-degree angle is half of 90. So we have to make a 45-degree angle on our patty paper. So to do that, we start by right here, tracing the x-axis. And to go halfway of 90, which is to create a 45-degree angle. In order to do that on the XY axis, you follow the line y equals x, which means you start from 0, 0, you go up 1, over 1 to the right, up 1, over 1 to the right. So this line right here that we draw, y equals x, that creates a 45-degree angle. Okay, so this right here is a 45-degree angle, which means this up here is also 45 degrees. Okay, so now we've created a 45-degree angle, and what we want to do is, like before, we take our pencil, lock in that point of rotation, and we're going to turn the patty paper to the left until this side of the angle matches up with the y-axis. So we do that, we keep going, right around there. There we go. And you can see that this side that used to be down here now is in the 45-degree angle position. Okay. And then this one that used to be up there is now up here. Okay, so I'm looking at my patty paper. I can see now the location of B prime, and it's right around there. So that was around here. And we write B prime. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. Now we have 180 degrees. So 45 degrees was half of 90, but 180 is twice or 2 times as big or double 90 degrees. So now we're going to rotate basically 90 degrees twice. So we have our patty paper. Just like before, I'm marking the location of B. I'm marking the location of point O. And I want to go back to paying attention to the 90-degree angles. So I'm going to mark where my x-axis is and where my y-axis is. So now remember, we're just going to do a 90-degree rotation twice, 2 times, because 90 plus 90 is 180. So I'm going to take my pencil, lock it in on the point of rotation, and I'm going to take my patty paper, turn it to the left. Okay, so I'm turning it to the left, and you can see now the y and the x-axis that we marked on our patty paper. So when the marks line up here with the y-axis and the x-axis, that right there is a 90-degree rotation. So now we got to go again, keep spinning again. Okay, until the marks for the x and y-axis line up again. Okay, so there we go. They're perfectly lined up. Here, I now see the location of B prime. Take my pencil, put some pressure, move the patty paper to the side, and right here, we see B prime. Okay, so there you have it. Now, let's do some rotation of figures, which is a little bit more tricky. So we're still going to be rotating 90 degrees, 45 degrees, and 180 degrees. The only difference is now we have a triangle. So I got my new patty paper, nice and clean. Okay, and we are going to start rotating. So we take our patty paper, place it over our center point, mark it, place it over our figure, in this case the big triangle. All right, there it is. I wasn't too neat, but it should be okay. You want to try to be as accurate as possible. I missed a little bit up here, but that's okay. So I've traced my triangle. So I'm going to take my pencil, lock it in on the center of rotation. But before actually that, I forgot I also have to trace my x and y axis, right, to make that 90-degree angle. So when I trace the y and the x, here I have my 90-degree angle. Okay, now that we've done that, now we want to take our pencil, lock in our point of rotation. So again, we're rotating 90 degrees, so it's still positive. So we're going counterclockwise, spin, spin, spin. Okay, my marks that I've made for the x and y axis have lined up with the x and y axis. So here I see my image after the rotation, and now I try to use some force. Press, press, press on the points. All right. If I move my patty paper to the side over here, I see those points. Again, it might be difficult to see on the video, but I see it on my paper. So let's double check now. Make sure we did that right. So here we go. So you see on my patty paper the triangle, right? We traced and the 90-degree angle. So line it up with the original image. Take the pencil, lock in that point of rotation. Turn, turn, turn. Aha. And it lines up. So we know we did that right. Okay. Let's move on. Let's look at our next rotation, which is our 45-degree rotation. All right, so we got 45 degrees. So we trace our center point, trace our triangle. I'm going to try to do a better job this time. Okay, so remember, for a 45-degree angle rotation, we trace our x-axis, then we think about the line y equals x, which is the line that goes up 1 over 1 from the origin. So we trace that. So this right here, this angle is 45 degrees. So now we're going to lock in that point of rotation, turn our paper until that 45-degree angle matches up with the y-axis, which is right around there. And now put some pressure. Mark off where those points on the triangle are. Okay. Let's see, wasn't so clear, so I'm gonna have to go back and apply some more pressure. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, right around here and here. Okay, that's a little better. And now connect my points. There we go. There is our triangle. So that right there is a 45-degree rotation. All right, let's move on. Our last rotation, 180 degrees. So let's get our patty paper. Trace the location of our center point. Trace the triangle. Oh, that one's really good. So back to thinking about 90 degrees. So we're going to trace where the y-axis is, trace where the x-axis is. Take that pencil, lock in the point of rotation, rotate to the left. Okay, right there, that's 90 degrees because our little lines our marks that we made on the patty paper lined up with the x and y axis. So that's just 90. So we got to go one more to get that 180. Oops, there we go. All right, so now got to use some muscle. Oh, too much muscle there. Broke the lead. All right, use some pressure. Get those points in. Trace the sides. All right. See? Oh, I'm going to have to look at it again. All right. All righty. There we go. So right here. And right around there. There we go. All right, and we can double check. So right there, we have our original triangle. Let's rotate it again, double check. Right here, that's that 90 degree. Got to go once more. Lines up. See, there it is. Lines up. That's our 180 degree rotation. All right.